A good late afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sage. You're watching Kalkine TV live from Sydney, and this is the last show of the day, the last trade, where we'll discuss the latest market action from the local bourse and beyond, along with more insights impacting the market. So let's get started. And uncertainty surrounding the Omicron variant of COVID-19 is now giving many of the newbie investors their first real taste of share price volatility. The ASX 200 closed lower today, dropping 10.7 points or 0.15% and setting a new 20-day low. The index has lost 2.46% for the last 5 days, but has gained 9.69% over the last year to date. Sectors ended mixed. 7 of 11 sectors were lower, and utilities was the best performing sector, gaining 1.49% and rebounding from its recent decline. Let's take a look now at the top gainers and losers of the day. Worley was the best stock of the day, rising 6.5% after it conducted its investor day yesterday. Next up was AGL Energy, up 3.6%. Fletcher Building and GUD up as well, 3 and 2% respectively. Transurban Group also rose by 2% today. And on the declines, we had Netwealth Group, whose shares plummeted by over 6%. Other laggards of the day were Afterpay, Orocoba, Gold Road Resources and Xero. Let's now take a look at the stocks that interested the investors today, starting with the newly listed company, recycling, packaging and manufacturing company. Close the Loop jumped 55% after its initial public offering, pushing its value past 100 million Australian dollars. The business raised 12 million Australian dollars in the IPO. It targets the circular economy, and the products and services include the design, manufacture, collecting and reuse of recycling materials. One of Australia's largest retailers, Premier Investments, provided a store update and conducted its annual general meeting today. And retail operations are slowly recovering as its stores reopen and have fallen just 3.5% for the 17 weeks of the new fiscal year. And the 4.9 billion Australian dollars retailer stores have lost more than 42,000 trading days this financial year. And today, Premier Investments shares traded in the red. Now, in an interesting tug-of-war, grocery giant Woolworths Group has proposed to acquire Australian pharmaceutical industries, pitting itself against Wesfarmers with a higher offer to buy the company via a scheme of arrangement. And Woolworths has also flagged it is willing to consider other deal structures, and today API shares shot up 16%, while Woolworths shares also rose marginally. And the supermarket giant Coles has been dragged to court by the national wages watchdog, the Fair Work Ombudsman. There are allegations that Coles massively underestimated the amount it shortchanged workers by and owes them more than 108 million Australian dollars. Coles shares plummeted today by nearly 1%. Liontown Resources has raised 450 million Australian dollars to develop its Kathleen Valley lithium mine in Western Australia's Goldfields region, and this comes at a time when investors continue to flock towards battery minerals. Looks like that with the lithium shaping up as a crucial commodity for the electric vehicle revolution, miners like Liontown are rushing to scoop up engineering contractors and labour in Western Australia. And now that we know what the stance is at the local bourse, let's move on to the Asian and global markets. And the Asian shares traded mixed as virus-linked fears joined Fed's measured response over inflation and chatters surrounding China. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan advanced 0.2%, boosted by Chinese blue chips up 0.25%. And Hong Kong up 0.2%. However, Japan's Nikkei lost 0.6%. In the US, all three main Wall Street benchmarks fell more than 1% overnight as a global rally petered out upon news about the Omicron variant marking its first presence on the American soil. Looks like the investors will be witnessing a dull day amid a lack of major data and events ahead of Friday's US jobs report. However, virus updates and second-tier data from the US may entertain the traders. Let's now take a look at an important economic update. The latest economic forecast from the Organisation of Economic Cooperation and Development suggests that the world GDP will grow by 5.6% in 2021, 4.5% in 2022 and 3.2% in 2023. The organisation also said that the main risk to an otherwise upbeat global economic outlook is that the current inflation spike proves longer and rises further than currently expected. And we're now in the final segment of the show. Let's take a quick look over the buzzing crypto markets performance. And the global crypto market capitalisation declined 0.63% over the last few hours to stand at 2.63 trillion Australian dollars. Bitcoin saw a surge in its market dominance by about 0.23% over the last day to stand at 41.09%. And as for other major cryptocurrencies, Ethereum fell by 2.28%, Binance Coin declined by around 0.88%, Solana, however, rose by 9.17%, Cardano fell by 1.36%, and Avalanche fell by 6.69%. And we've reached the end of the report. Thank you for your company on that one. Do keep watching Kalkine TV for further market updates and live expert talks. This is Sage signing off till the next time.